you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Hi friends, Krystle here. Now, before we dive into this episode that I know will be providing you a lot of value and support, we wanted to share with you how we can support you off the podcast because we have a few new opportunities cooking in my kitchen and also that Leah has selected in her market. So the first offer is what we've had for a little while, which is a free guide on tips and tricks to honoring your strategy and authority. Now, if you've had a hard time understanding what your strategy is, if you've had a hard time understanding how to honor your authority and use it in your everyday life, you're going to want to head to the show notes down below and pick up this free guide. Now, our next offer is our language manual, and this is called Your User Manual to Your True Self because it reveals with you how to understand the language in human design, how to understand the key terms and the dense information in human design. We have a lot of images that give descriptions and allow you to follow your chart and learn how to use this language in your everyday life. And you can pick that up in the show notes down below. Now, our next offer is our mini classes on the 4 transformations, which are the variables in human design that help lead you on the path to purpose and help you better understand your process and how to get to where you are going in life. Now we have bundles with this and also a la carte classes on determination, cognition, and environment, and you can pick those up in the show notes down below. And we will be starting a variable intensive. We are super excited about this, so excited, which will be a 5-week program on every single variable. And we are going to be doing a hands-on approach with this, where we'll be guiding you through the classes in depth, week by week, and you will get access to every single guidebook and workbook for life. Yes, you heard that right. Please look out for our wait list soon, as this will be starting in October and there will be limited spots to this intensive. Now, we also have another class, brand new. This is brand new. You've heard it here first, that there will be a 3-part series on 2027. Yep, I know everyone's interested in this class. 3 live Zoom classes recorded, and it's going to be on the 2027 mutation that we are all entering into. And the first class will be on August 22nd for a limited time only for the live classes. Please feel free to head to the show notes for more detail and to register for the class. Now, we also have our 2022 energy forecast. Now, we started at the beginning of the year. We went through all the major players that are happening in 22, and we talk about them through the lens of human design, astrology, and tarot, and you can pick that up in the show notes down below. Now, speaking of energy forecasts, we have a really big opportunity for you guys, especially you listeners that have been listening to us week after week with the program and the transit updates that we've been going through. So we've created a monthly bonus exclusive. Okay, this is called the program exclusive, which is going to be bonus material on the transits and more. And you'll also be getting a worksheet with this each month, where we're going to talk about the gates and channels in detail for each month, as well as a few other things that we'll let you guys know about soon. So definitely pay attention. It'll be coming out in September. Make sure you are subscribed to email so you can join that immediately. Now, we also have Nurture Your Child Through Their Design. This is a class that we did, a free class that we recorded that we have decided that we're going to make a whole guidebook for. And you'll be able to pick up the recording as well as the guidebook. And we're going to be going through all the types through the lens of a child. And then we're also going to be giving you nervous system regulation through the variables. We've come up with a few ways that we've been working with our children with this, and we wanted to share it with you. So please pay attention to this coming out late August. Now, if you've been wanting to work with Leah and I one-on-one, if you enjoy how we explain human design, astrology, and tarot, I do the human design portion and Leah does the tarot portion, and we both do one-on-one readings. So if you would like to get a reading, you can head to our website in the show notes down below and book a reading with us. Now, I'm going to stop talking about all this stuff, and I'm just going to let you guys get into it. Feel free to reach out to us. We love hearing from you, and go ahead and listen to this next brand new episode. See you over there, friends. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. I'm Krystle.
And I'm Leah.
And this is the podcast you've been waiting for. Leah will put music in the background. I was expecting it.
I have been trying, but Anchor doesn't let me do like little.
No, we're gonna have to figure something else. And or if you did not hear music just now, we have a question, reply, please. You can DM us on Human Design Astro Club, or we also have our email in the show notes below, whichever you prefer. But anyways, do you know how to put music?
Yeah, how do we do that? Because I use Anchor itself to edit our podcast.
Maybe we need to ask Anchor.
Maybe. Yeah.
They respond. They have a support team.
They do.
Speaking of support, that's the theme of this week, support. So we'll get there in a moment. We're going to talk about some stuff. I feel like I should have written down some things that I like. My open head's always an undefined is like, you'll remember. Bitch, you're never remembering. Okay. Especially once it's like the spotlight's on me. Like I see the recording button, like anything that I thought I had in my head just like falls completely out. And as you guys notice, I don't have words a lot. I'm like, I don't know what that word means. It's a very simple word. It's the.
Right. I feel like I relate in a way that is my rightness is like, because I take in so much, I forget, or I don't pick up on all like the little things. So like if you make me come back to it, then I won't remember everything. Sometimes in the moment though, I can figure it out, but I can relate on like not being able to remember it right away.
Yeah. So I asked you guys a question. What was it, last week? Only 2 of you answered. Since we are in the program of support,
Mm-hmm.
if you do enjoy us, because we do get a lot of DMs lately that you are enjoying the podcast. We've been meeting some of you new people. Thank you so much for everyone that's been purchasing our classes. I mean, that's amazing. We never know what will happen as entrepreneurs. And I know a lot of you are out there that are entrepreneurs. You just never know. You're like, will this launch fail? And so far, we have never had a launch fail. Knock on wood. Did things not go 100% every fucking time?
That's the life of being an entrepreneur. It's unpredictable, and you just hope that people like you and your stuff.
Yeah, like your stuff. You don't even have to like us. Just we have value. I think if you've been here for a while, you picked that up. And yes, I am a little bit of a bitch. It's just true. Okay. Like I don't try to hide it, but I'm also, because I have the gate of the extremes, I'm also the nicest person you will ever meet. How can I be both? I'm an enigma. I don't know what to tell you. So if you do enjoy us, we'd love your support and a variety of opportunities that we could provide for you. I actually shared a bunch of ways in my stories today. And actually, I got a lot of response to that. I was like, well, thank you. Thank you for all the support. Because I think sometimes we need a little reminder. And I think this is where my open throat is starting to gain some wisdom from, because I just always assume as an open throat, when you don't immediately respond to me, because I'm also a generator, or like, you know, like my stuff or comment on my stuff or share my stuff or buy my stuff, or just me in general in my everyday life with a lot of a variety of other similar things that happen in our real world, right? I'm just like, well, I guess I suck. And I'm like, so I suck at literally everything. I've been kidding myself that this is what I'm supposed to do. Nobody supported me in this particular situation, so that means I'm a loser.
Yeah, your transferred personal kicks in.
Oh, it goes 0 to 60 real fast. But the beauty is that human design is here to show you awareness. That's the number one thing. So I now am able, 5 years in, it was probably honestly between 3 and 4 was when I was really able to understand my view, because view is the fucking mind. And if you are still filled with conditioning, you will never see your view correctly. And I guess let me correct myself there. It'll be really difficult and challenging for you to be able to spot when you are in transference. It will just be very challenging. And it took those first 3 years of like really heavy deconditioning and then understanding my variables. And like you have to understand the body side before you can understand the mind, because the mind is where you transfer, right? If the body gets bypassed, your cognition doesn't kick in, your tonal resonance doesn't support you, guess what? The mind will not either. The mind will say, well, I guess I got to make the decision here. Here we go. Let me chime in. Personal view. Everybody hates you. I want to let you know right now. The entire world thinks you're full of shit. You should just go pack your bags now. Just stop what you're doing. Pack your bags, shut your business down, destroy your Instagram, tell Leah goodbye. I'm never seeing you again. And just disappear off the face of the earth. Just go into innocence. Just, you don't need to help anybody. Nobody wants your help. Go back to the sidelines in the shadows where you belong. And that's the way you're going to live out the rest of your life, in the shadows. Have fun. Peace out. And that's my transferred personal.
Yeah, it's a mean bitch.
She's quite a mean bitch. I named her. I highly recommend naming your not self. Okay. She's that passive aggressive bitch that's in your mind, ready to destroy you and also protect you at any moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
And I named her Constantine because she is constantly talking. And I tell you, listen, Constantine, you're gonna have to shut the fuck up right now. You have no idea. You tell the mind, what I want you guys to try something, okay? Something magical is about to happen for you. Ready? Tell your mind you don't know what you're talking about, and then wait. All of a sudden, there's going to be this shift that occurs. And it's like you disarm the mind for a second. Mind goes, what? What do you fucking mean I don't know what I'm talking about? And then they go, maybe I don't. And then there's silence for a moment. That's deconditioning. That is allowing the mind to realize it's not in charge. And that's one of the biggest things that we talk about, or that we talked about in our first class for 2027 with the new direction 2027. And that was a phenomenal class. I was so happy for the people that showed up. I like to watch people while we're doing classes to see the engagement, for me to gauge if I'm saying the correct things as an open throat.
Yeah.
And everything just like lined up perfectly with that class. I feel like the right information was shared, and that was just the first one. So I'm super excited to see what happens with the second and third. So thank you for everyone that has already purchased that class. And if you're like, what are you talking about? We have something really magical and powerful coming for you guys. You will get the opportunity soon. Doors have just closed while we're going through filming, I guess. And we have allowed people to partake in the live. We're doing live and recorded classes. So once all classes are recorded, doors will open again for a new direction 2027. That's all about, honestly, humanity and the global transition that like has occurred and is occurring and the mutation that we're going through right now, but how we even got to this place. Because in order to understand where we are now and where we're going, you have to go back. And I feel like that's what we know as as 4426, the channel of surrender, which is all about past history and patterns, right? That in order for us to truly know what's working, what's not working, what needs to be corrected, you have to see what was. So that's what we're doing. We'll be dropping nuggets of wisdom along the way. This one was really great. And I told you to write it down because I said something about it. I've been saying a bunch of stuff, and you're like, damn it, I should have recorded you
I wrote
saying
it
that.
somewhere.
But I'm like, Leah, just fucking write everything down right now. I don't know. Like the words are just falling out of my mouth. I will not be able to catch them. Um, so, but it was just a really great class because we were really able to see how did we get to this place of where we're still operating as seven-centered beings from the mind. We don't even, most of the population doesn't even realize that we actually have mutated. Because we can't be in our bodies. People are afraid to be in their bodies. It's a scary place to be because that means you're in the dense 3D world. It's so much easier to be in the mind and let the mind try to, manipulate you and control you. And it's really just there to keep you small because it wants to keep you safe. And we also have this power fucking struggle that we have to move past, and we will be forced to. The universe is a big thing that Ra talks about in his class, or at least one of his classes where he talked about this, is that the universe, the new program that is coming in 2027, is going to be moving no matter what. You're either coming with the program and going to try to like mutate with it and allow the mutation to almost show you a new and better way that there's always an upgrade. This is an upgrade. Why would you want to stay in this old dense world that's already broken? Like clearly it's broken. Dude, speaking of breaking systems, because that's what's fucking happening right now. Milo's school. Now, I will say his teacher last year and the curriculum was great. And I loved that whole environment there. But the school systems that they have in place are ridiculous and archaic. And I feel like, especially now, because they had to go through such a huge shift with 2020 and the shifting to online and then in person and all of that. And like also, kids are not being socialized the way they once were, right? And like there was like that brief period of where nobody was socializing and it did have a major impact on the children. Um, it's just like, what is happening? I'm like, do you need me? I almost wanted to ask the principal, do you need me to organize these events for you? And Dave was losing his mind. We have both of us have the channel of surrender, the 4426. Okay. And he has the 31. So he's like, and he's also guilt motivation. He's also fucking Virgo. So he's like, these fucking people, we're standing in line. I don't know how long. They have this system where they divided the registration to pick up your teacher in half of the alphabet. So they have like, I don't know, it was like A through M or something, and then the rest through Z. And they didn't factor in how many people probably were like A through M as opposed. And like, so I'm like, why would you not either split this 4 ways? Maybe you don't have the support to have 2 extra staff there or something, but I feel like this also could have just been emailed to you, or provided with the teacher. Just, send out either a voicemail or an email or a text. There's a variety of ways to make this so much more efficient. But instead, no, we we stood in a line because we have our last name begins with K, so we get to be on the side that was the majority of the people in the school. So it took 5 years to get this fucking piece of paper. Okay, Otis is losing his fucking mind. um People have also brought in like materials, so there's people holding boxes, standing in these long lines. There's also in the gymnasium where there's no air conditioning. Okay, we're in the middle of the summer. One fan. There's one fan. And so I just want to paint the picture here so you understand our suffering. So after that, I think we're done. Okay, I'm like, so this was horrendous. We weren't done. There was another line we had to go into for them to sign the piece of paper that they told us about, the children's portal or whatever, to log in. All they did was tell us our name and password and show us where to read the information on the paper. I was like, why did we need to stand in that line now? What was the point of this? Where are the projectors?
They need everything virtual. That's what we do up here. I don't know how big your schools are, but
It's
there's
not
no
very
need for someone to
big.
go in person just for them to consent to a virtual
It was
platform.
Dave was losing his goddamn mind.
I would be too.
But then there was another line.
Oh God.
This is how efficient it was. So then there was another line, and I opted out of this line. Okay, I just
I'm done. Done with these lines.
I'm like, I am not in this homogenized. I'm like, it's really hard once you start leaving that mentality to go back into it and then be like, no, this isn't going to work out for me. Because I told you, and I think I even said on here, I talked to Mile about potentially doing homeschooling this year with the craziness going on in the world, and then just like the breakdown of the fucking school systems, man, it's like ridiculous at this point. um but he really wanted to go back in person. He's a fourth line, and he has a lot of social anxiety that when he is put into a routine of it as a manifestor, because he doesn't have that defined sacral, it gives him a sense of like security and rhythm and understanding that he wouldn't normally get outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
um because I do believe that even though non-sacrals, it's not necessarily about routines for you guys, it is important for you to have some sort of structure there.
Yeah, it's still helpful.
It needs to be a routine without pressure.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like when Milo has that consistency with that, he's more well-rounded. But I know that he could also potentially get that through like other programs and athletics and stuff. But he said he wanted to go back, and I want to try to respect my kid, even if I just don't know what the right answer is. And I'm willing to pull him out at any point. And go to homeschool, like, because I don't think anything is permanent. Like, I'm like, okay, you want to try this? Let's do it. Let's see if this is gonna work. And if I see it not working, or I see something coming, because like there's stuff coming in October. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't have any answers. I'm also undefined ajna. So I think it's really important that I just tell myself all the time, I don't know. I just don't know. Because I feel like before I used to try to be certain so much. And I had these strong fucking opinions when I was younger and nobody fucking liked them. And there was like, I could tell that I was like pressuring myself to hold on to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, so yeah, so that's what's going on there.
I have a question about that in general. So like I find myself saying a lot of times I don't know. All the
The
time. I don't have
43-23.
answers.
Well, that's the 43-23. It knows when it knows.
Yeah.
43-23 knows when it knows and it knows what it needs to say when it needs to say it. But when you don't know, you don't know. You're okay with saying I don't know. I was not okay with saying that
Yeah.
before. I
I feel like I
needed
get
to
a
be
lot of
certain.
pressure from people who don't have a defined
Yes.
ajna that are like,
They're
what do
like, well,
you
you
mean you
know. They're
don't
like,
know?
no, I feel
Yeah.
you're fucking 43-23. You have the fucking answers, Leah. And
Yeah.
also your guilt motivation. They're like,
Right.
bitch,
Like, dude, I don't
you're
know.
you're here to help. Okay. So tell me what you know. Set me in the right direction 4 ways. You're the cross of the 4 ways.
It's a
So
lot of pressure.
listen, bitch. You are a defined heart. You tell me how I can commit to myself. No, these are what people are like. This is what people are
Yeah.
feeling from you.
Yeah.
That's why we had this talk last week about like some things that you said. I was like, you got to understand the way that your definition is influencing people. We
Hmm.
don't get that.
Hmm.
Like I have complete awareness now around the way that my definition influences people. And I know that it can be triggering for a lot of people because I have a lot of ambitious nature in multitudes of ways, from astrology to human design, running through my chart. Even in numerology, it also says I'm here to be a leader. I'm like, fuck you. You gave me an open throat. Fuck you, universe. How do you lead with that? I'm figuring it out.
Day by day.
Day by day. It really is my superpower. I'm really starting to realize that. And I say, you know what I'm really starting to love about my open throat? Is I say every single fucking thing that everybody wishes they could say and that everybody really wants to say, but they don't have the fucking balls to say it. I'll say it for you. I capture everyone's expressions and then I just speak them from the truth. I
Yeah.
am the I am the truth keeper, truth seeker, and truth teller. There is no lying here. I wish I could lie. You
Yeah.
will know if I lie because I am not a good liar.
My mom and Garrett I think are they open or undefined? They might just have like one gate if they're
Yeah.
not open.
Yeah.
And so
No, he's undefined.
it's kind of similar though, because they know and they'll say things. They're like, I don't give a shit. I'll tell you whatever it is you want to hear. I'll
Yeah.
tell you things. And I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm.
There's a well, because you guys have a filter that you have to speak through. I have no filter. I used to think and you add Sagittarius to that, because I'm a
Mhm,
Sagittarius sun with also 5 planets in Sagittarius.
mhm.
That's a lot of truth. Like that Sagittarius represent truth and there's no filter. They have a no BS filter. I used to think when I just knew astrology back in the day, I'm like, oh, all of this is because I'm a Sagittarius. And lo and behold, when I found out I was an open throat, I was like, well, fuck, life just opened up for me. Like everything
Yeah,
about my past makes so much more sense now. And it's crazy. And I'm really starting to not give 100. Like it's hard to not give any fucks. I don't know how to not do that because I have an open solar plexus, but I give a large amount of less fucks about what I'm saying and what I want to say and what people are going to think of me when I say them, because I'm really just saying what you want me to say. I'm the mirror. Understand that every open center that you have, if you have, not everybody has open centers, some of them are undefined. Undefined means that you have a line coming through that center. So there's a hanging gate there. So there's there's a frequency that you are filtering that center through, of where you are then that's the personality and the flavor of that center for you, and it's looking to connect to the other side so it can have a full understanding. Those are like your hanging gates are almost like your little like wisdom seekers. They're like those are where your biggest learnings are going to come from, is through those hanging gates. They're going to teach you a lot. That's what you really have come to learn, is through those hanging gates. And your open centers, which I have three. I got the lucky three. I have three. And one of them is the rarest of them all, the open throat. I joke that it's just me, but I found open throat, so I can't say that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very, very, very rare. Very, I don't know what the actual percentage. I feel like it's got to be somewhere, like, this is just a complete guess, because I feel like the undefined throat is like 20 something percent. So the open throat, it's got to be in the low teens. Like, I want to say 11.
Yeah.
That's my
It's
lucky
your
guess.
magic number.
11% of the population are open throats.
Mm-hmm.
It's it just explains my entire life. That is my biggest conditioning center for me, my biggest trigger. I'm really getting bold these days that if you do not see me and you will not recognize me for who I am, I'm done. I have no patience anymore to be in the not self from that place. I will you will never, if you do not have an open throat, even if you have an undefined, you have something to speak through. I'm telling you, speak through that fucking gate and people will hear you. But if you have a completely open throat, if you've ever felt like no one sees you, or you feel invisible or see through, that is the best way I can explain what it means to be an open throat. It is the most alone feeling you can feel. And I also have the gate that is in transit this week in the sun, the gate of aloneness, which is my um unconscious Mars, which is my wound, like really what I'm here to heal. Um, I just totally forgot what the explanation of that. Not I don't I almost said the wounded healer, but
Like
that's
your
fucking
core wound or something
yeah,
like
my
that.
core wound. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, not Chiron, bitch. That's the wounded
No,
healer.
yeah.
I'm like,
I was like
close.
going through my dial, the
Yeah.
little dial in my head.
Yeah, it's my core wound, which it
Mm.
fucking is. It's incredible. Like when I found that out,
Yeah.
Gene Keys really helps understand a lot of the significance of the planetary placements with a lot of things. I really enjoy the way Richard Rudd put that together.
Yeah. It's a great
Um,
book.
Definitely highly recommend, but I'd say if you have not Leah's like, you should have never told me to get that book. I
It's
told Leah
not a
to get
beginner
that
book.
way. It is not a beginner book.
No,
I still, I
I'll show
still,
everybody on the YouTube
it's
how large this book is. It's beautiful. It's great.
it's
It's
really great for
dense.
contemplation, especially if you're at the beginning of trying to understand the significance of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that his roadmap that he's created, the Gene Keys, it's the Star of David, which and like I didn't fucking realize that the color wheel, which is also six colors, I'm like, holy shit balls. Yesterday in meditation, I had this like mind explosion. I'm going to put it up. There's so many pieces still like that need to be placed together.
Mm-hmm.
And also like the rainbow frequencies that surround our planet. through the rainbow, which are 7 colors, but people do not have a hard time distinguishing indigo and violet. So that's why the color wheel does not include that, which then makes it 6 colors, which there's 6 colors in each variable, right?
Yeah.
And then there's 6 lines that
6
are running
lines.
through your entire fucking chart.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, you texted me at like
I
10:15
was like,
last
I
night.
just started
Like, my
texting.
mind is blown. I was like, I can't. I really.
You're like,
It was
that's great.
cool.
You were like, that's great.
I was
Good
like,
job,
that's really cool.
sweetie.
I want to come back to this tomorrow where I can actually respond in like an excited way.
You're like, you crazy bitch. Um, there's still more coming through with that because it's like, it just explains so much of what we can't see that's happening because the color wheel really explains the neutrino. And I feel like that might be an easier way to interpret and explain the way neutrinos work and the way the lines work. And it's very interesting. Primary colors, secondary colors, broken down in threes. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and why did it take me this long to see that? Damn. But we're putting things together. There's just a lot happening. There's a lot happening right now. We're also going to be going through some of our old material in classes and courses and stuff, and we want to restructure them. So if you purchased anything that we've put out, if you get an email from us, it's we've reformatted some things and we wanted to gift you the new version. I believe everybody should get the updated version. I don't think because you purchase once that's it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff. We said we're pushing the variable intensive back to spring, which I think is the best move. And then we're also going to be we thought about launching our bonus material for the transits in September, but we're actually going to launch it in October. So if you this is a little heads up for my emotionals, my reflectors, people that need more time or that you need consistent information to make a decision, First lines, you need more information. I got it. I get you. So we're going to be putting out monthly um more detailed transit updates for the entire month so that you have a preparation for the entire month. We're actually going to go through some specific gates and channels that are going to be significant for that month. And anything else in astrology. Leah's also going to pull a card for each month and give the representation of that month. And we might incorporate what the fuck does that mean? we might we might incorporate um tarot and the human design gates that we've been talking about for who knows how long at this point.
Long time.
So we're thinking about adding that. It's going to be a hefty monthly bonus for you, and we're going to make it extremely reasonable price. We're still working out those logistics. There's a lot of bugs crawling at my window right now, and it's really terrifying me.
Hopefully outside.
Yes, they're outside. Although the other day, okay, so I'm having some PTSD. Okay, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying here and then we'll go to that.
Yeah.
So, if you've been liking our weekly transit updates, and you'll notice that I don't really include too much the gates or the keynotes. I mean, I do include like a lot of the transmissions, but I don't go into specifics or details with a lot of this because people that listen to this podcast either are potential newbies, um, they really enjoy astrology, but they don't really understand human design. And just also sometimes when you hear the gates and channels, it takes away the actual frequency and what that actually means. Um, with understanding it. And then you're like, you're like, well, oh, well, I have that gate. What does that mean? And then you're already in your mind trying to figure out what I'm saying. And then you miss the entire transmission. So that's why I don't give them, because I did do that at the beginning. And then I had people tell me that it was like too much because it's a lot. And I go into hardcore details and I'm like, okay, so underneath this gate, there's this motivation. And what's happening here is,
Yeah.
and you're like, what?
Yeah.
If you
It's too
don't know at
much.
all what I'm talking about, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm speaking to the general public on our weekly um program. And then we're going to do deep dives monthly. So that's basically what it's going to be. So if you're like, I'm curious, also, you can try it out. I don't think we're going to make, and I hopefully we still don't know all the logistics yet. So what I'm saying might not transpire, but my hope is that people can opt in whenever they want. If they want to purchase a certain month, purchase that month. And then if you don't want to purchase the month after, you don't have to. And then if you want to purchase the month after that, great. And then if you don't, great. And there's no commitment, which, as we know, the majority of the population can't do. So
Yeah.
why feed into that? Just because Leah and I are both very, very committed people. Clearly, we show up week after week. The fact that we've been doing this for a year now and been, I think, I think in the whole, okay, hold on a second. I think in the whole year that we've done this podcast, there's only been 1 week that we didn't do.
I think so too.
And there was a reason. I don't remember what it was at this time, but it was legit reason. And we just had to say, fuck it. And we couldn't do that week. And then, but anytime there was like a potential, like, oh, I don't know if we can do it, we fucking worked it out
Yeah.
because we love you guys and we enjoy showing up on here. This is like, for me, I can only speak for myself. This is my favorite part about what we do. I really do love, second to creating classes. It's hard. I don't like, for me, I guess, because there's no pressure with this and there's nobody here. Sometimes it can feel nicer on some occasions, and then other occasions I really, really enjoy the classes. I don't know what you just did.
I smashed my funny bone.
I was like, that was a so something hard just hit something.
Okay. It's not funny. The funny bone.
It's never funny when you hit the funny bone. I don't. It's
No.
like, why do
Yeah.
we?
No, I agree. I feel like this is fun to have like a conversation and just to put it out for people to like hear, because we do try and share a lot of our like lives through the lens of human design and on our Instagrams and stuff. But
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of this we have more conversation about it where you can hear more detail or like how we've gone through something and how we
Mm-hmm.
experience it and what we've gone through or deconditioned or how we're using the material that we've created to use in our real life. It's not like
Yeah.
we're just pumping out stuff for you to buy. Like we are experiencing it. We are
I would
going through
never.
it.
I don't think I could
No,
physically do that.
no,
People that do that,
that's snaky.
I don't. I mean, I'm not trying to throw any shade at anybody. I mean, maybe I am. I don't know. Um, I mean, I think a lot of people that do stuff like that, they're up, like, you have to go almost like offline, and like it's like you the awareness isn't there. Like
Yeah.
you have like, I mean, for some they're extremely aware and they're doing it on complete purpose. But I can't. I just can't.
No. That's what
Everything.
I
Go ahead.
when I was doing my fitness coaching stuff too, it was like I would never want to sell somebody something that I hadn't already tried to experience myself or knew somebody who had gone through that program or something, because how do I know the questions? How do I know to answer the questions that you're going to have? Or how do I even know it's even worth
Yeah.
telling you that it's going to work? Like,
Yeah. You don't know if it's going to work.
right.
All I know, and I don't know much.
Well, I think I know.
But I do think I know a lot. But but what I know through my body, like it's like a full, I don't even know how to explain it. Like I just know because I went through the experience of it, is the classes that I create. I don't
Mhm.
create any classes that I haven't experimented or experienced and reached some version of success. That's what a third line does. Like we are here to go through the experience so we know what works, what doesn't work. And then a third, like the third line, like people really, I'm like, damn, I have to talk about this more because I'm just like, what the fuck are people talking about with this? If you truly understood the energy frequency that is carried through the third line in any aspect, whether I'm talking about in your profile or in your variables, or also connected to a gate, if you really understood the third line, you would understand that it is all about the dense material world. That is, it's like in the matrix. Like it can see where things are shifting and changing, and it can show you almost how to, like, and that's what I fucking do, is show you how to fucking hack the matrix, like how to use this dense material world to your advantage, how to win. That's what fucking power view is. And what people don't understand about power view is it's not 100%. And I guess I can only speak from personal experience. I have talked to many other power people, so I this has been confirmed for me because I don't want to just be like, well, this is what it is because this is my experience. I have to get confirmation. Anytime I have something, I have to get confirmation. True power view people know that, meaning that this is your view. It's not your transferred view. Don't come at me if this is your transferred view, okay? Because this was Ra's transferred view, and I've talked to many other power views where they're like, I don't fully agree with his interpretation of power view, where it's about the winners and losers. It is in a way, and that's the transference. The transference is looking for, transferred power is looking for who's winning and who's losing and how can I get the advantage. But true power view says, I see you playing the fucking game and I know how to win, because the truth is we're actually all winners. We're actually all on top. There's no one below us. We don't have hierarchy anymore as nine-centered beings. We're not here to control. That's one of the biggest things that we talked about in the 2027 class, is it's not about control. So if it's not about control, how can we have winners and losers? We don't, because we are deeply connected to every living, breathing, and also inanimate object, because they also carry personality crystals as well. I know I'm going deep. I'm sorry. It just happened, and too bad. We are so deeply connected to every single thing that is living on this planet that says, I am you and you are me, and you are no better than, I say, like a blade of grass, just as equal. We are all equal. And I think that's one thing that we're trying to learn right now through a lot of the marginalized groups, as I've said, that are starting to say, no fucking more. I'm not taking this shit anymore. Because true power view knows that there isn't actually a fucking power struggle. The power struggle is in your fucking mind, people. There's nobody above you or below you. And if you think that, you're not playing the game. Playing the game is learning your version of success. And that is what the third line is actually here to do, is learn about how to be successful in this dense material world. And that's what we do week after week. We come on here and we show you how to be successful by hacking the matrix through the fucking transits. And I wrote a whole thing about that also. I'm like, why did you go on this tangent? You're about to do it again. And I'm going to tell it to you again. So just listen. It's going to come back. It's going to come back around a little different, but it's the same fucking flavor. We've got to get this. There's a reason why I feel like, see, when I came online just 2 years ago, that was like nothing. That was like fucking yesterday, right? Nobody was talking about transits. I could not find anybody that was talking about transits. I was like, I'm going to start talking about it because I know how important it is. I really understood that working at the Kabbalah Center and them doing the new moons every month and preparing everybody for the month. And I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking valuable. Why don't more people know about this? And so when I came online, I'm like, I'm going to talk about the transits. And so I started to do that. And then people are like, oh, this is interesting. And then I started seeing other people talking about the transits. And now that's all I see. But like, not consistently. I feel like we are very consistent, obviously, showing up on here week after week talking about them. And I feel like I'm just trying to prepare you guys. And also, I'd love to do a class on this. And I think doing the bonus episodes for people that want to do the membership of that. That's going to be like an introduction to doing a class on this at some point because it's so important, especially the times that we're going in. You're going to need to know what's happening. So, oh, wait, there was one last thing I wanted to talk about. So, we asked you guys, I think it was like last week, like, if you are left environment, do you enjoy public speaking or very least being watched? Because I have yet to hear from a left environment that they don't enjoy being watched. And if you're right environment, do you hate public speaking or being watched or anything in that capacity? So we actually had two projectors that responded to us. One of them said that's a quad left, said that she doesn't like public speaking, but she does like being watched. And she feels that a lot of it has to do with projector recognition and also when she experiences one-on-ones, which is also very projector. But also, I know this person's quad left, and I actually know their variables because they've taken a bunch of our classes and they're in our support group. And so I know that she's consecutive. And so one-on-ones would definitely be more fitting and fueling for her because it's just repetitive back and forth. Like she doesn't need to try conversing with anybody else. It's just like it's just like a ping pong ball back and forth, very focused, right? With that attention on someone else. And also with being a projector, you guys are attention focusing no matter what, even if you are quad right, for example, because your aura is absorbing. So and then the other projector is right environment. She confirmed that she hates all of it. Like just
I hear you, sister.
Like do not like being watched. Do not like public speaking. There's just something about right environment once you like feel someone's eyes on you and you're like, excuse me, I'm trying to like watch you over here. The best for me, oh, I love this so much. Okay. Because I don't know if it's my open throat. It's a combination between right environment, open throat. I love staring at people like intently and hardcore where I almost like don't blink and I can feel them feeling me watching them. And then all of a sudden they look. And then I'm like, I wasn't watching you. And then I come back and they're like, this bitch, they can see, I know they can see me peripherally. And they're like, this crazy bit. And like, I do it like on purpose. I'm like, I'm looking at you. I know you see me looking at you, but once we make eye contact, look away. No, I can't have you watching me. Okay. You can't notice me watching you, but I also want you to notice me watching you because I have an open throat, but don't look at me.
Yeah. When I'm cleaning, I hate it when people, I don't hate it because I have to do it, is sometimes the people will be in the house while I'm cleaning. And I'm always just like, I doing this wrong? Like, what am I, did I miss something? And I'm like paying more attention to like where I am. So
Yeah.
I feel that where I'd rather be in the house by myself. Like, don't watch me.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Leave. Leave for an hour. I don't care.
Yeah, I always try because I'm also a calm determination. Anytime I've had someone clean my house, I don't like leaving the house,
Yeah,
but
I know some people don't.
I really don't. I don't know. There's something
Yeah.
wrong.
I mean, I've built up a repertoire with the customers that I have now that I feel like they'd be like, yeah, just come and like, do your thing and then go because they know my routine and they trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or it's a rental, so like they've been gone, so they're used to it. But when they come back, it's like, I don't know, it's just awkward.
Yeah. I don't like leaving the house per se, also because my dog can get weird with people.
Mm.
But I don't like being in the room as them. No.
Yeah.
So my old cleaning lady that I had back in Florida, she had the same exact, I'm pretty sure she was a generator. She had the exact to a T, same routine that she did back to back to back to
Mm-hmm.
back, very fluid. And she always started in the same place and ended in the same place. And
I do too.
once I figured out her routine, I was like, okay, so at this time, I always just say, just let me know when you're coming in here. And then when she comes in, I would just go in my room and I would close the door.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be here, but I don't want you to be near me while I'm here.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes I have one that will follow me around and like have a conversation.
oh
And then
no.
another, but she's like,
Thank God you're
she's
right
elderly, so
brain.
she can't really. I mean, she'll talk and then she'll be like, okay, I'll let you do your stuff, and then she'll come back. Oh, I have another question. So it's pretty funny. She's really cute. But then others are, like just to get to know each other. I feel like it's important to have a conversation
Well, I don't
with
want
your
to get to know
client
you.
anyway.
I don't
But
want to get to know you.
you don't? Oh,
No,
well, maybe that's what makes me different. Is my business is like, I don't know.
I
I
don't
like to
care
be
how
around
nice
them.
you are.
It's
I'm just
also my external market, so that's
yeah,
kind of like where I have my
yeah,
conversation.
yeah. I would probably tell you though, like, I'm gonna go in here now. You just let me.
Like, you done? Okay, bye.
You just let me know when you're done.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm an open throat. I have zero, and like just also other places in my other definition and stuff. I have zero desire for small talk. Zero. Also, as like I feel like a 1-3. I have zero desire for that shit. My Mars is in Scorpio. I'm ready to go deep real fast. That's what you see me do it on here all the time. It's like, oh, where the fuck did we just go? We are in the pits of hell.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that's my Mars in Scorpio. But yeah, it's all, and we're all different. See, you want to do that stuff. I would never allow you to do that to me.
I read the room though. I'm not going to force somebody to have a
Yeah.
conversation. If they don't want to talk to me, I'm like, cool, it's whatever.
Well, you just said that you want people. See, this is where we just got into a contradiction here. You just said you don't want people watching you clean, but then you want to have conversations with them.
I don't necessarily want to, but I do
Okay.
like to get to know them if they
But you
want to
like
get
to
to
get
know
to know.
me.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to initiate a conversation necessarily like
No, you shouldn't. And
that I already know, but if they start the conversation with me, then I'll have a conversation. But generally I'm like, you're paying me by the hour. I'm pretty sure you want me to get your job done so that you can have a clean house and I can leave. So for me, I'm like, I don't really want to stand around here for 45 minutes shooting the shit
oh, for
when,
fuck no. I'm always like, how fast can you get the fuck out of my house?
yeah, oh
I
yeah,
don't,
I'm pretty efficient once I
yeah,
get into it and they
yeah,
understand that. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
There's just a lot of things. So let's get into this week. This week is not as much as what's been going on, but we do have a lot of things retrograde and we do have Mercury going retrograde the following week. So this is like in preparation of, and we are in the shadows right now. So we kick off the week with my dear friend. aloneness, as I just spoke about earlier. So that's going to be in our focus. But don't worry, it is has its coupling partner of the friendship, gate of friendship that's going to be in the earth, and it's grounding us. But first, let's talk about what's shining a light this week for our program, which is our focus of aloneness. So our focus gives us the theme, like a moment of emotional commune. This could be a drama and also something beautiful because there is something magical about everyone being able to come together to support one another. And this is the theme of this week. And also, this channel will no longer be supported after 2027. Um, I'm so excited to share the breakdown that's going to be happening in the solar plexus. Like that's one of my favorite parts of this class for our 2027 class because it's getting an upgrade. We're all going to be getting an upgrade in some variety. And we're going to be talking about that in a new direction. So doors will be opening back up soon after our live version because we are recording and you'll be able to purchase the class soon. So we have this focus on right now our ego and our will to maintain support through the community. This is liberation, and we are being grounded in actual support. The frequency says, I'll be your friend. I'll be your loyal friend to the defined heart if we are together. And that's the only thing the sun wants this week is a loyal friendship. And do you remember what we talked about in the last week's program with New Moon Virgo? That was a review of relationships. And now the people that will stand with you in this next chapter in your book are here to support you. Don't you see the story? I want to help you guys understand the transits. I really do, because this can really be life changing. The transits help you hack the matrix, as I said earlier, and they allow support where you need it most. And they also show you the illusion being played out. And, that's why I think Ra was such a good transmitter of this system. And one of the reasons it had to be him to receive and spread, aside from being a manifester, is that he was showing you through this system as a one, the man behind the curtain, because he too, as a fifth line, was the man behind the curtain. So it just all makes sense. And he was really, really, really big into the transits. He started the whole what's it called? Genetic Matrix does it too. And I know that Jovian does the in the now, what's it called on there on the homepage? It's like it was whatever Raw called it. Like he still uses the same name, the guy that created Genetic Matrix, which is also a manifester. That was fun to find out. I was like, of course. So yeah, I mean, as we've been talking about, and we talk about consistently, the transits are here to guide you and support you. You can either choose to capture them and ride them and allow them to support you in ways that you would never know without the awareness of them. And like even astrology, not just like obviously we know astrology does because that's really the storyteller, right? Because that's connected to the mind, that's connected to the personality. And right now, like I have Mercury in my 10th house, and that's why I feel like I can't shut up. And why, like, I've gotten so many offers this week on multiple things that I'm like, damn, I'm like the hot girl at prom. Like, I feel like really excited. And I'm just like, can I have Mercury in my 10th house for the rest of my life? Because that would be fantastic. But it's like, now that I know this, right? It's like, okay, so let's fucking utilize this. Like, let's actually ride this shit out and allow it to bring more possibility into my life. So I just wanted to go on another little tangent there. Sorry about that. Anyways, so I'm so excited when we put out bonus subscription on the transits in October, also because there's going to be so much detail in that month report, and also an opportunity to truly understand. We haven't talked about this, but also like the transits help you understand the gates, the channels, the centers in real life and how they're like playing out. They're really our best teachers. And, you know, that's like the transits are like, they're here to teach you what's up, what's happening, what's the story. So you have a quick intuitive expression. It's going to be coming in with what we're good at, what we're skilled at on Tuesday. So it's always nice to know when a center is defined. So we will have a quick hit of the spleen, intuition, and our throat, which will be the expression of that day. So it's just tension on Tuesday if you have open spleen and or throat. So we also have the genius to freak connection from from the ajna, our mind, throat, and it's giving us a moment of unique expression on Friday. So it's a good day for a download or expressing yourself in ways you might not normally do. Like, you know, we had that whole freak running for like what felt like 5 years for me for some reason. And like, I don't know, the notes seem to be like running. It's through the transits right now. I'm like, we're already halfway through. I'm like, I felt like we were in the genius to freak for like 5 years. I don't know. I'm like, time like speeds up and slows down in really weird ways now. And it's just like so bizarre to me. So we do have a new program coming in pretty hot later on Saturday with a new focus on finding clarity through confusion. And this new program will be about finding logic in the patterns, and we're being grounded in our doubts. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna feel this sense, this version, this heaviness of doubt, but let me look out and like shine a light in areas that maybe I don't see, maybe something that I'm not normally seeing. And let me see if I can focus or pay attention to the patterns that are happening this week. So this is going to be a big time on review, which makes sense with all the planets we have that are retrograde right now. And then, like I said earlier, that Mercury is also going to be going retrograde this next week. So it's you if you really understand the transits, you can see how things are almost like lining up for the next theme and the next storyline that's coming in. So I hope this gives you some insight and, you know, some ways to work with the week. And so we have, what did I say? We have the spleen, the throat, um, the sacral, the heart, the emotional solar plexus, all coming in and out throughout the week. There will be a consistent focus on our emotions and our heart and our willpower. So that'll be the main focus. But, you know, there's also things coming in and out through the other planets. So that's the majority of this week. Also, I always share like some other details or if like things that aren't like as big of a deal because we can't go through everything on here, right? And also we'll save a lot of that for our bonus material. But I do like to share like maybe like minor aspects and stuff. Or like when I see shifts in frequencies changing, like I like to share that in my stories or sometimes on my feed. So if you like that kind of stuff, you want more details or you want to just like listen to what's happening during the day, sometimes I'll throw stuff out for that day. You can follow me over on Journey Through HD and also our new Instagram. We'd love to hear from you over on our new Instagram, Human Design Astro Club. We just started that a few months ago, and you know we're still trying to find balance with that one. Um, work in progress.
Work in progress.
And yeah, that's about it.
Wow. I was taking a bunch of notes and I'm going to noodle on a lot of that information. The emotional transits always
Oh yeah.
get
Well,
me.
you're getting a full stream there. Correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a whole lot going on, but I feel like I'm kind of prepared. I've been in and out of different waves with having the heck, 49, 39 one.
4919.
Yeah, that
49,
one.
any way you want to say it.
Yeah, kicks
So
my butt, and that's
you've
still
been
in.
consistently going through that for the last year because it was in last year and then it like came out, right? And
Yeah,
then you thought you were in the clear until Saturn's like, listen, bitch, you've got some more work to do. I've got
yeah.
some lessons to show you. I'm sending you back to your room right now to review. And so here you are, back in the emotions.
I think one thing it's helped me do is kind of A, let him out, and B, like, not get super emotional about things, which is
Yeah.
strange because I mean, it's not really strange because I don't get emotional because 'cause I'm
Well,
Aquarius.
externally.
Externally, yeah, so, like, a lot of times I'm, like, just brewing in my head, so I feel like now I the way I feel it physically, and I don't even know if this is a thing, you can tell me if it is or not, but I
I mean,
feel
I
more
don't know.
like I feel like, all the time, I'm like, "Who's texting me? Oh gosh, like, what's gonna happen?" And I get, like, nervous. So
Yeah.
I don't know if
Well, that's the
that's
pressure from the root. I feel like the emotional pressurized channels, like there's a lot of nervous, anxious energy to them.
yeah.
Especially from I was able when I first found human design, I had a bunch of people in my life that had a lot of emotional pressurized channels. And so I just watched them be like, wow. Like
That's
the way they like made me feel around them, like I would get this like nervous, anxious like feeling. And I'm like, isn't it odd? I would say to myself, isn't it odd that when you go around this person, you all of a sudden feel nervous, anxious, you sweat sometimes, and
mhm,
like you can't quite make sense of what you're feeling because the pressurized emotional channels, they don't want to feel. They're being forced to feel.
yeah,
There's a pressure to feel, right? That's the whole point of them is a pressure to feel. And it's the begin. You have to understand I'm like, hold on, we're coming back to another lesson here. One of these days, I'm just gonna give literally, but everybody everything, and then I'm done. Goodbye. Um, listen, the root is where everything really starts. It is the beginning. It is Malchut, as I say in Kabbalah. It is the dense material world that we all live in. And it's where our ancestral trauma also is stored, our childhood trauma, the beginning stages of things. I mean, Gate 41, which is the initiator, which is what starts everything. It is the first gate that comes into transit at the beginning of the new, are considered to be the human design new year. It's the gate that starts everything, and it's in the root. So it's the beginning of what's going to become, and there's a pressure to that. It's a pressure to create, right? A pressure to reach a state of moving up the hierarchy of the consciousness field, because that's all the body graph really is different versions of consciousness. If you really understood that, it'd make a lot more fucking sense. But anyways, um if you notice, I'm not trying to be condescending. I get very annoyed with people that talk about this stuff that have no idea what they're talking about. And I just like, okay, I got to say something. We've got to stop. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Don't listen to me. I'm not, but we've got to stop finding human design, thinking it's like the holy grail. And then I'm okay. Now I'm going to share it. Okay. 2 weeks in, I've got it. I've got it all fucking figured out. Let me go share all this information, give you a bunch of fucking misinformation on this actual system. I got no source material. I didn't take any classes, courses. I don't even know who the fuck is raw. I am now going to be your authority, and I'm going to teach this information to you, and it's probably not going to be correct. There's just too many people coming online with that now. Like when I found human design over 5 years ago, that wasn't the case then. I couldn't even find any information. Like that's why I had to start taking classes because I couldn't get any free stuff. And I'm so thankful, to be honest, that the way human design is now just like all over the internet. It's like a great thing. It's like kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like a great thing because now it's getting pushed out to more people. Like Raw would probably be like shitting himself right now if he knew how many people actually were able to even receive this information, as opposed to when he was giving it, when the internet was really just starting. And he even said like this information is not for everyone, and it's not going to get, he like made it, the way he talked about it is that it's not really going to get to the masses, but it seems to start. I don't think he knew, like, I'm sure he knew, but didn't know, like, the potential explosion that would occur with this. Sorry, I went on a long, rude tangent, and I'm not ashamed of any of it. We're keeping it. Sometimes I go on tangents and I'm like, Leah, cut that shit out. It's embarrassing. But listen, it's the truth. And if this is you, I'm not trying to offend. I have an open solar plexus. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just saying, listen, stop for a moment. Stop trying to make sense of this information. That's not what this is for. There's no making sense of this information. Yes, it's a logical system, but it's about experimenting with the information to find out if and what and how it's correct for you. Because everybody is individual, everybody is differentiated. So we have to stop like, oh God, I just found this new thing and let me go and tell you all about it. If you want to talk to your friends about it, great. But stop presenting yourself as an authority on the internet when you just found it a month ago. Okay, I'm done.
You sure? There'll be at least one more crystal tangent at the end of this episode, so just hold tight.
Trying not.
It's okay. It's all
I've
good.
sat back. I'm now going to mute myself.
Okay, so as usual, I'm going to pull two cards, the tarot card and I don't know what I did last week. I think it was a different one, but I'll do the Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. So the tarot card that I pulled is actually the Page of Pentacles. And this is about, I feel like this is really great for after the new moon because it's like planting intentions, like planting new goals that you want to set intentions for. And in the bottom here, there's actually like an open field with rows that it looks like someone has been out farming, like planting the seeds. And then there's new flowers coming up and he's holding the pentacle, like, look at this thing that I just did. Like, check out this accomplishment that I just have to share with you. Like it's just, this one's kind of a nice card because it's maybe celebrating yourself for your accomplishments that you want to share with people, and or about new projects or maybe a new job, a new goal, a new activity, a new hobby, a new relationship, or anything that's coming up for you that you want to start a new project. Like this might be a good time to try and do that. And getting to know yourself and celebrating yourself along the way. I feel like that's really important too for the page, and having fun with it. I think having fun with it is really important. The page is, he's fun and he likes to do fun things, new things, maybe not all the time. That's just how I interpret the page, is like being like the fun seeker. Like he likes to do a lot of fun different things. So as for pentacles, it's like accomplishing something that's fun or going toward a hobby or a new goal or something like that. I feel like that resonates for myself as well. And so for the Work Your Light deck, I did already shuffle it a million times, but okay. I don't know about everybody else, but I tend to have decks that I swear I haven't pulled certain cards. Like I haven't seen certain cards from this deck. Like I'll shuffle it and I'll look through, and there are certain cards that I don't, like I'm not sure if I've ever pulled that card before, which is really weird and I don't know why that happens. But Anyway, I pulled the Pillar of Light, which is really beautiful. And it says your vibration is rising and you are the oracle. And then I find it in here. Okay. You are heaven and earth in perfect expression, a conduit for the light of the heavens to the earth. You are the rainbow bridge. Krystle, like what? What? Wait a second. Can I put this closer? The rainbow frequency? Like the crystal, you're the crystal, you have your.
That's the crystals of okay. Hold on a second.
I
have a lot to say about this, but we're gonna I'm working on some stuff behind the scenes of how we're gonna share this, and I'm trying to get a situation worked out to where I want somebody else to share this information first, and then things will happen after that. But anyways, we have surrounded on this electromagnetic field that makes up this planet all of these crystals. Now, what happens when reflection runs through like an opaque, like a mirror almost, right? It transfers like a frequency, which can also be seen color, right? Which the rainbow in the sky, like after rain, right? Or like when you see the light hit an object in such a way, and then you see the rainbow, right? We've all seen that happen before.
Mhm.
Or like a puddle that hit that like hits the light in a certain way. You can see the rainbow that's running through that. That is what we are made up of. And that is the frequencies that I just explained and that I also explained in my stories is the color. All of this is just surrounding us, but we can't really see it with the naked eye. But anyways, we'll go more into detail on this another day.
I just feel like this is all, it's all playing out for a reason to talk about right now for some reason. Okay, so back to the card. You are the rainbow bridge. Take time to meditate. Imagine yourself as a pillar of light connecting to the light of the heavens above with the earth. As the light shines through each of your chakras, you activate the rainbow bridge that many ancient scriptures speak about, raising your vibration and the vibration of the planet. Linking the higher realms of the cosmos, the guides, the angels, and the spirit within the ancient wisdom keepers and beings of the planet Earth. They dance together through you. They sing together through you. Without your body, voice, and creations, neither can be expressed. For too long, we've been taught that God is outside of us, giving away our power to angels and spirit guides. But without you, they do not have a voice. You are the oracle. You do not look for guidance outside of you, for you hold all of the wisdom and of the entire universe in the portal of your heart. In every cell of your body, you do not see the angels as guides above you, for without you, they have no way of communicating. You're the oracle, you're the rainbow bridge, you're the pillar of light. And the activation card for this activation quote for this card is, I allow the light of the heavens and the light of the earth to flow through me. I activate the codes of remembering within my cells and chakras. I activate my system as a rainbow bridge between heaven and earth. I feel like there's the portal of your heart. Well, I feel like that's more like the portal of your
That's the G center.
G
That's the
center.
magnetic monopole. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly
That
what
is
they're talking about.
where the neutrino is being filtered through, right?
Mhm.
So
And like so, and we're not. We say this in a lot of things, like we're not trying to put religion down, but you notice how a lot of these things are like you are your own authority. You speak through your own authority. There's no outer authority who is going to tell you what to do, and you
that's
do
the nine
speak,
censored being.
right, and you do speak through your own authority, and I feel
God
like
is
there's
inside of us.
yeah.
Hopefully, I'm sorry if that just triggered you. Again, I feel like I'm going to trigger a
We're
bunch of
we're
people.
also open to having conversation with people. Like this is,
Yeah.
if you find that you want to have a conversation with us because there's something that came up, like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I talk to people DM me all the time. They're like,
Yeah.
"So I heard you say this on the podcast." I'm like, "Okay,
Right.
all right, all right." I will only block people that are rude. So if you do DM me and you're rude and you just want to tell me your opinion and how I'm wrong or whatever, I'm not here for that. I don't have the energy for that. I'm not emotional.
Hmm.
If you want to have an actual conversation about it though, and you find me to be wrong, I'm open to that. Totally open. I am not right. I will never say I'm right or I'm 100% right. If I ever say that to you guys, please run. If I
Again, we are not your authority.
No. So that's why, if you are coming back here week after week, you are following us on Instagram, we would appreciate an exchange. That's all. Think about it. And like this might be a good week to think about it. Or noodle on it. Don't even think about it. Just let it simmer. Thinking does things that are put you in the not self.
Hmm.
I say noodle. Just like let it be there and see where it goes. Like sometimes I like to call it noodling because I just like it's just like the synapses is like forming and moving, like it's doing a bunch of things. I'm just like, all right, I don't try to make sense of it anymore. I used to, when I didn't understand human design, but now I'm just like, and I just let it wander. Because also Constantine, listen, if you let your not self out and you just let them tell you all the nastiest things that you don't want to admit to yourself, they eventually stop. They eventually realize there's nothing else left to say, and
Yeah.
that it's essentially not even really bothering you to the extent that maybe it has in the past. And then there's no more power there. There's no there they hold no more power over you. And you can finally just say, okay. I say to her a lot, Constantine, you little bitch, thanks for trying to keep me safe, but I don't need you right now. Thank you. Take a seat. And then you I want you to say some of these things to yourself. And also sometimes I like to do it when I look myself in the mirror and it's like I'm talking to her. And then I watch the expression on my face and also like my mind just like drop. Just try it. My third line, just try it and see what happens. Maybe nothing will happen. I don't know. If that's the case, the will of your not self might be too strong. I don't know.
Do it more often, or I don't know.
Yeah. Excuse me there. Anyways, so there's a lot and not a lot going on. You know, these kind of weeks that happen where you're like, but we do have a lot of things again, a lot of things in retrograde, and there's just a lot of review happening. And one of the things that I would like to say to you as Mercury is about to go retrograde, one, look at what planet that's going to be transiting for you. Like, so for me, as I just stated, Mercury is going to be in my 10th house retrograding because it is in my 10th house. So it's going to retrograde there. So what's happening for me now that I have awareness around this is I'm making sure that I'm setting myself up for anything where I'm going to be using communication, using my voice right out, right, also as an open throat. And this is pertaining to my business because it's in my 10th house. So Leah and I, that's one of the reasons why Leah and I will be going through review on all the stuff that we have going on and all the stuff we've created and even our website. This is a good time to fine tune wherever Mercury is in that house. So for me, it's going to be about fine tuning my business and in my communication style and making sure that I'm going to be showing up in an authentic way that's correct for me, for you to receive me. And that's going to be my goal during this retrograde cycle. And so I'm basically setting myself up right now for success with that. by all the classes and stuff that we've created. We're going through, what are we going to be talking about? What are we going to be doing? What changes and shifts need to happen? What are we going to be reviewing? Because when it comes to that time, if you don't have all your ducks in a row, you're going to be scrambling. I'm not here to scramble anymore.
I'm like scrambling.
So if I could give you a little advice, I don't know.
A closing tip.
A little tip, not even advice. I don't like giving advice because then I feel like, you know what? I don't really like giving advice because it kind of takes your authority away.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I never want to do that for anybody. If you want my advice and you recognize my open throat and my desire, motivation that I could lead you in a better direction, because that's what I'm really good at doing, then for sure come to me. But if not, I don't know.
Take it as face value. Is that what they say? Grain of salt? I don't know.
Yeah, I like to say grain of salt. Some of these analogies, you're like,
Yeah.
Like I like to say, keep your eyes peeled a lot for some reason. And then I'm always, after I say it, I'm always like, sounds kind of gross. Like who? So what? So wait, so I'm supposed to walk around like this?
Yeah.
I just like being funny. My husband doesn't think I'm funny, but I know you guys think I'm funny. And I fuck you, Dave. I love you. Anyways, so we hope you have a great week or whatever point, time, day frame you're listening to this in, whatever capacity. Hope it's great. If
Yeah.
it's not, change. Everything's up and down. So nothing lasts. So take that as it is. And hey, if you liked this episode, share it with a friend, a stranger, the man standing in front of you in the grocery store, whoever. And, write us a review. If you're like, you know what? I love these ladies. They are weird. That one is kind of fucking crazy and feisty, and the other one's just like, she is. And we also like to talk about weird shit. So if you like us, write us a review.
Yep.
Every time you support us in some fashion, it helps share us almost to somebody else. So each review is an opportunity for more people to find us. So that's about it. And we'll see you over on the next one.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Krystle and I are really here as defined hearts to provide value to you with our unique insights. If you have found any of this episode valuable to you, we ask that you share with a friend, tag us with a highlight on Instagram, and write us a review so we can reach more people. Human design and astrology are tools to guide us toward our transformation. You are a unique and beautiful being, and we encourage you to let that light inside of you shine bright. See you in the next episode, friends.